Hello there, lovely to see you all again. I have listened to 6 songs from the Irish selection for Eurovision 2023. All of the reviews are up on my channel now if you want to check them out individually. But as I'm starting to kind of create a routine here for following the national finals this year, every time I just finish listening to all of the songs, I'm also doing a tier list of the songs and placing them in the different categories to really kind of just showcase which one I want said country to submit for Eurovision and have represent them. And Ireland have 6 songs, and I don't know, after listening to them, I kind of have had positive impressions, but it's not really like I found any of the songs to be that mind-blowingly great song that will get Ireland back to the top, unfortunately. Maybe that's a different case for you, but I didn't really click with any of them to that extent. And I've kind of considered like how I should set this up, but I still want to put something in the top category because I just kind of want that top category to represent the song that I actually want the country to send, even though I don't really think that it's a top tier song necessarily. But I will try, and I've kind of prepared in my head which song I want to put in the top category, and then we'll see where the other ones spread out. But from the 3 national finals I have followed so far, unfortunately I find this to be the weaker one. Maybe I'm just starting to get a bit pessimistic. I don't know. Feeling a little bit under the weather now because it's, January and Sweden is pretty cold. And so excuse me if I'm a bit, I call it like downcast and not so very energetic. I think I'm coming down with a cold, which is unfortunate. But before it gets any worse, I'll try and rank the 6 songs that might represent Ireland here. And to kind of, I don't think any of these songs are just straight up not for me, so we'll skip that category. But I have songs that I think are just kind of all right, and I think Hawaii is probably one of those. It's kind of intriguing because like the first time I listened to the song, I was kind of just really invested into it, and I actually really wanted to follow along where the song was going. I wanted to really just get dragged into the whole atmosphere of the song and what it was doing. And I still kind of feel like that, but I think those occasions where I just really want to listen to it are quite rare. I just heard it like today again, maybe 2 or 3 times, and it's not really one of those songs that actually grab me and that I want to listen to it again. It goes on a bit like too slowly and a bit too uninterestingly. I don't really connect with the song in that way, and it doesn't really spark my interest in any sense of that stretch. I think it's pleasant, and I like the instrumental of it quite a lot, actually, like some concepts of it. I don't think it's very expansive, but I like the sound of certain parts within the song. But I think the whole structure of the song and the whole arrangement as a whole kind of needed something, like some additional spice to really just make me want to return to the song. I have nothing against the song the way that it is. It's just that I don't find it to be that remarkable for me to actually consider it to be one of my favorites from this selection. So that one, I will place it in the It's Alright category because that's where I think I would consider it to be. I also consider Too Good For Your Love, I think the song was called, to be alright. It's an alright pop song. It's upbeat, it's danceable, like dance-friendly, a bit sing-along friendly as well, even though it's quite monotonous and repetitive in its vocal hook, I guess. But still, there are, a solid structure within the song. I think there's a nice tone within the song as well. It's a nice atmosphere, builds quite well. Production isn't quite there, in my opinion, for a song that kind of relies itself on having a very punchy production. I don't really think it clicks. These horn sections or brass sections, whatever you want to call them, they can sound great within the whole soundstage when everything is joined together, because then you can't really identify the flaws of a certain sound. But I think that when they're on their own, they sound quite out of place and unfinished, and that's just one of those sections where maybe you shouldn't isolate an instrument if you don't think the sound of it is perfected. Just those kind of small details here and there in this song that I don't really click with. I also don't think it's a very creatively written song. It's very by the books. doesn't do anything that challenges my interest within the song. It's all right. It's upbeat. I can get invested into it, but I would probably have 50 or 100 other, pop inspired, EDM inspired pop songs that I would rather just listen to, that I think are better and more interesting and more fun to listen to. But it's all right. Have nothing against it. It's there, but it kind of just fills up the numbers, I guess, for me. I think another one that I think is quite all right is what's called "Down in the Rain." This one, I think if there's one of the songs that in the entire selection that I would see myself going back to the most, this is probably it, because I think it has just a very easygoing, very easy listening and friendly tone to it. It's really easy to just put on in the background at any time and just kind of nod along to, don't really pay too much attention to it, just enjoy it. But whenever I just kind of think about the song and I actually do sit down and listen to it and I actually analyze it, and it just hits me that, oh my god, it's so freaking repetitive. The instrumental interests me absolutely nothing, which is quite interesting because it's guitar driven. I usually am a sucker for guitar driven instrumentals. I like the guitar hook in it, but that's the only thing there is in this instrumental. And vocally it becomes very one note pretty fast. I do like the switch up when it becomes like it has a melodic section towards the end, which is by far my favorite part of the song. Even though it's heavily processed vocally, it just offers a little bit of variation, and I think it's really charming, that section. But the rest of it, it just kind of keeps going. It does the same thing over and over again. Lyrically, I don't really connect with it, I guess. Yeah, it's all right, and I have fun with it, listening to it. But and as I said, it's probably the song that I go back to the most out of all of these. But just kind of thinking about it, I don't really think it's all that special, and there are many songs within this genre as well that I think are far superior. I've been listening to this song called Finesse by Fields, I think, which is, maybe it's not within the same genre, but it sounds, similar to me, and I just love that song because it has the variation, it has more energy to it. So it's just, difference in that sense. We'll move on. We have 3 songs left. Let me make sure that I actually say the correct names this time, because I believe I called this song Midnight Summer Rain when I did my review for it. I think it's called Midnight Summer Night. And this is, I've got a, I don't know, I can't call it criticism, but some people have pointed it out to me that it's only a demo. So it feels kind of unjust for me to judge it, but I can only judge what's in front of me, and that's honestly what I did. And at this point, I think Midnight Summer Night is an alright song. Many people will probably put it higher than that. I've seen a bit of hype around this song. Maybe it's just not my genre, I don't know, but I think this song is incredibly repetitive the more I listen to it, actually. Which is unfortunate, because I think there's a really nice charm within this song. I like the structural side of things. I think the instrumental has a great concept to it. If they can just nail the production within a revamp, then it could be just really chilling to listen to for me. But whenever I hear it, I just kind of get stuck in the idea that it's a very repetitive kind of songwriting that this song has. I think the vocal line, it becomes a bit too much of the same thing throughout the song. It's very pleasant in that sense. You kind of feel comfort listening to it because you know what you're gonna get, and it's more about just the journey of expanding the instrumental. So maybe with a revamp, I will just connect with it much more and not really be bothered by the setbacks that I feel at the moment. But at the moment, I think this is an alright piece of music. I do enjoy aspects of it, but I don't really think it's all there. Yeah, I feel a bit overly pessimistic here, but because I know people like it, I can see why people like it. It's maybe just not that much for me. I still enjoy it whenever it's on, but it's not something that I go back to and want to listen to again, unfortunately. But it's a very, kind of contemporary, soft, mellow pop song, which works with a lot of audiences. And maybe one day I'll get around to it as well, but I think it's desperately needed to kind of bump up the production before I'll I'll give it another shot and really just kind of click with it. So I'm going to place it down here for now. You can disagree as much as you want. It's completely fine. 2 songs left. If I would be completely honest, I would probably put both of them in only the enjoyable category, because I don't really think either of these songs is a great alternative. But I do have to put a song in Winner Winner Chicken Dinner, and that's the song that I see myself returning to the most and that I enjoy the most. So I'll put it up here, but you can just kind of imagine in your head that both of them just kind of end up in this category, which is unfortunate. I had a more, like, what do you call it, like an optimistic feeling about these songs when I listened to them the first time, but the more I think of them and the more I kind of compare them to the songs from Ukraine and Belgium and Albania, I kind of pull myself back. Maybe I'm just in a bad mood, I don't know. But let's go with the song Wild here. Enjoyable. It's not all the way there for me, but it's upbeat. I get happy listening to it. I think it's competently put together, has a great vocal throughout the song. Nice structure. Just a really enjoyable pop song that puts me in a good mood. Not really just kind of sold on the instrumental arrangement throughout the song. I don't really think it has that drive that I really want it to have and that amount of energy, but it still does its job. It's a pleasant song to put on at any time, and I would probably never skip it, in all honesty, because it's just pleasant. It doesn't do anything harmful or whatever you say. I would never really get tired of it in that sense. It's not a hook that kind of that I can get tired of, I think, because it's not a hook that is incredibly memorable, but it's also not a hook that's completely anonymous. It's just right in the middle there. And I think it's just one of those songs that I can return to at any time and just enjoy to listen to. But I don't think it's anything that I really think I would go back to and just choose within a playlist of 20 songs. I wouldn't really pick this one out and just feel like that's the one I want to listen to right now. And within its own style, I think there are also songs with more drive or with more of a memorable hook, or maybe a greater structure that's more dynamic. It could be different things. I don't think that this one has a particular side of the arrangement that I think is really just 100% there. I think everything's just well put together, and it's solid and enjoyable, and that's where I put it, in the enjoyable category. And we could probably put I think the song is called We Are One, in enjoyable as well, but it would be probably, like, I've been going back and forth a lot about these two songs, but I think that if I were to just choose one that I would probably like to see win the most, I would probably choose this song, because I think it has some great stage potential, actually. I think it also has this ability to kind of maybe click through the TV with an audience. It's sing-along friendly, it's anthemic, it's a bit just this upbeat tone. I like the sound of the pianos that really just kind of create this bouncy feel, and it's really joyous and joyful, and it really just spreads positive vibes, I guess. Also, great vocal performance from what you can hear in the studio cut. It sounds really convincing. It has great character to it, and works really well with this glossy type of instrumental that the song also has. And I like how the way it's structured. It really just has this restrained verses that really build into this hard-hitting, anthemic chorus that's just kind of meant for the stage, I guess. If you go for the song that I think would be the best to just put in my Spotify playlist, I would probably go for Wild. But if you think about the song that I want to see on the Eurovision stage, I would probably go for We Are One, and that's why I've gone for it. And I get enjoyment out of it, just like I did for the other song. But I think this one just has that hook that really could stick with a lot of listeners. I've seen a bit of, criticism regarding the lyrics about this song. I haven't really paid too much attention about that, because maybe, as you know, on my channel, I don't really pay attention to lyrics. I just listen to the music and decide what I like listening to and what I don't. But if the lyrics are a bit on the meh side, if that bothers you, then I completely understand that. But yeah, this is my tier list for Ireland. You could do it like this, and this is the tier list, but it looks so depressing. So let's just do that. And do tell me how your list would look in the comments, because I'm intrigued to know how different our interpretations of the selection are. Maybe you liked the selection more than I did. Maybe you liked it less. I don't know, but you can tell me, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. We'll see what national final I will cover next. I have been recommended that I should check out the one from Finland, and I don't think that there are that many songs in that one. I've also had recommendations to check out the one from Spain, but Spain have a lot of songs, so I might just kind of keep that one a little bit on hold until there are, like, when they've chosen the final few songs, so that I don't have to listen to too many songs. We'll see. Finland will probably be next if I just kind of give my spontaneous thoughts. But if you have another recommendation, tell me in the comments as well. That'll be all for now. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.